As the guys say at the table, it's a fine line between being political friend and enemy, a description that would seem to apply for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. The two have famously clashed on taxes, pre-K, charter schools, and more. But now, Daily News reporting that the mayor went to bat for the governor, trying to secure him the ballot line for the Working Families Party. Now, party members, they are not too happy with the governor over his positions when it comes to stuff like taxes, the budget, labor deals, and word of a Cuomo de Blasio powwow comes as another Daily News reports that the WFP nomination could go to Diane Ravitch. Ravitch, education advocate, professor at NYU, and, if the name sounds familiar, the ex-wife of the former Lieutenant Governor, Richard Ravitch. Cuomo camp has good reason to certainly want the WFP ballot line. Now, to that end, polls show, guys, that if they get in, I know you at least let me ask this for you so I get forward. But if there was a candidate, it takes away certainly more from the Democrats and Republicans. We always say, yeah, it's unnamed rich. She's got some name recognition. I'm not saying she's a household name, but it is interesting. What do you make of it that de Blasio didn't have to, but he went to bat for him?
It's called,
he only does that because he wants something?
It's called trying to build up some goodwill. You know that, Richard, having been around politics as long as you have. You got to give credit to Mayor de Blasio trying to score some points with the governor, build some political chips that he'll cash in on perhaps the next budget process. I don't know if the Working Families Party, Dan Cantor, its executive director and so on, if they're actually going to do this. It won't play well with this governor. If they do decide to give the line to someone, the issue becomes, can Diane Ravitch get the 50,000 votes to keep their ballot line? Signatures. And then it becomes you're going to war with this governor. So I don't know what's going to happen.
And it hasn't worked well for many folks. Now, another embattled Politico is certainly one Mr. Grimm here. And Staten Island Republican, he was relatively unknown sophomore congressman. Then he gave this interview at the State of the Union in January.
Why? Let me be clear to you. You have to do that to me again in 2 years.
I just wanted to ask you. Why? It's a valid question.
You tell me what the fuck. No, you're not mayor. You're not mayor.
I love the last part, like a boy. Anyway, since then, Grimm's been indicted by the feds for allegedly stealing money from a restaurant he owned. They're not reporting the revenue and a slew of other alleged wrongdoings. His campaign cash has dried up, and his campaign manager up and quit last week. Now, for the first time, Andrew, since then, he gave an interview to Politico, and shocking, he blames the media here for all the problems.
Couldn't see that coming.
And he gave the one line saying that, hey, if I ran into a burning building and saved the baby, they'd claim that I set the building on fire. But even Republicans are staying away from this guy like he's got the plague.
Well, he also didn't have a good answer. They asked him, what about these allegations, these charges that you're facing? It was like, it depends on what exactly you're talking about.
There was like a pause for 4 seconds, apparently, and then he gave that pearl.
He's in big trouble. He's dead man walking right now as far as
Great term. Good term.
Thank you very much. I'll break you like a little boy.
But isn't it such a tell that when they blame the media, it's the beginning of the end?
That's normally, I didn't mean to cut him off, but that's normally an indication of the beginning of the end. And it's not that the media is picking on Mr. Grimm. When the media,
a little bit, yeah.
When the media smells blood,
Right.
like a shark,
Right.
the media goes in for the kill.
It wasn't the thing in January. It wasn't the break you like a little boy comment that didn't help. It's the indictment. When you're a sitting congressman
But which
under
one do you
indictment.
think was worse for him? You're right, the indictment, but we've seen other guys that were at least under investigation for alleged corruption that still had the party saying, oh, we'll wait till it's proven. But all of a sudden, this guy looked like an unhinged lunatic here. And he's also got a lot of stories off the record that people have said, you know, where there's smoke, there may be fire with this guy. I think that silly, stupid thing, that exchange, was as damaging, if not more, than even the indictment. You disagree?
It was very damaging. And you know what's interesting about that, Richard? The congressman might have had a leg to stand on. I mean, I know Michael Scotto very well. I don't know if Mr. Scotto said, I'm going to ask you about this in the interview. It may have been, I'm only going to talk to you about the State of the Union address. No matter what have happened, he came off, the congressman, looking horrible in the situation.
I know we're out of time, but I got to ask this quick. You saw this one this morning. Olympics, cities got to put in bids. American cities trying to get them. Was 2024 games.
Yeah.
De Blasio said, we don't need it. We're not some little city here. We don't need the. You behind him on this, saying thank God for no gridlock in the city at least.
It costs millions of dollars to prepare all the venues for it, maybe billions of dollars because it's New York. So I understand the money could be spent better elsewhere. But how cool would it be to have an Olympic Games in New York City? I mean, it would be awesome.
I think the mayor's wrong. I think Bloomberg had it right. You fight like hell for the Olympics. He didn't win it, but you go for it. Look at the platform that it provides.
And the argument the mayor would say is New York doesn't need a platform, but I'm with you guys. It would have been pretty cool. All right, Donald digs in his heels. Coming up next, Donald Sterling says he's not going to sell and he's going to take his chances by continuing to fight the force out here. Now, legally speaking, is that in his best interest? Well, a legal panel is going to join us after the break to get into it.